Hey guys, this is Oracle Daphne. My name is Beth, and I am back again doing your mid-March 2016 monthly tarot horoscope. This is for everyone with their ascendant, sun, or moon in the lovely Gemini. And I had decided that I was going to be phasing out my mid-month readings, and that's still in effect. So just so you know, if you don't see a mid-month reading, do not panic. It just, chances are, I'm just not going to be posting it. This time around, I kind of decided, okay, why not one last one? I may be saying that for several months to come. You never know. But I really just don't have a lot of time to do all the series of horoscopes that I want to do, which would be like doing the mid-month plus the sex and relationship videos, plus there will be a time where I have my own deck, so I'll be doing videos where I'm using my own deck that I've made, and I'm hand-making a deck as we speak. So it is one of those things that you guys need to know. Chances are I'll be phasing out my mid-month readings. However, I did do these, and I do feel like they fill a void in this horoscope land on YouTube, because really there's not a lot out there right now between the videos that people do in the beginning and at the end of the month. So there's that. And then also I do want to say, guys, I do take these videos very seriously. I mean, obviously I do joke around a lot as much as I can to keep it light, but also I do care very much about my subscribers and what people are saying, and what people think about my videos, and because I do put a lot of work and time and effort into them. So there was a person who said she didn't think I actually cared very much about what I was doing, and that I was doing it just for the money, and I just was like, that's not it at all. I do this because this is my purpose. This is kind of like what I'm supposed to be doing in life. It took me forever to get here. As a lot of you know my story, I basically was working at a desk job at a law firm prior to me doing these videos. I never expected to do these videos, and now I have it is my business full time. So I mean, it was something that kind of just hit me, and I mean, I've been psychic my whole life, but I never had done videos, prior to, I really just hadn't been really making any videos, for a long time until I started this business. So I do care very much, and I want everybody to know that I do sit in front of this big window, because that's how I film. I film in front of this light that I feel like it's actually really good for me to sit here and do this in the natural light. So, because I don't have any lamps yet. I've been trying to get lamps forever, but it's one of those things that I just haven't ordered or haven't done. So I've been talking about that for a long time, and I am going to be getting those, but at some point. But just so you know, I do look out the window a lot, but I am thinking very much about what I'm doing. I am tuned in very much to what I'm doing, and I care very much. So I wanted you guys just to know that. Also, for those of you who are trying to book with me a private reading, the way to book with me is to email me after checking out my website. I do have a calendar there with my entire availability, and my website also has every single question to frequently asked answers to frequently asked questions. People, if you want to know my pricing, want to know more about my readings, all of that's on my website, oracledaphne.com. To email me, it's just elizabetholson31@gmail.com. It is OLSON though. People have been sending it to EN for quite some time, and so I am putting the links here and down below. All you need to do is click on Show More below the video, and it'll show you the links to my website as well as my email. So enough about all that. These videos are going to be a little bit shorter, and I'm not going to be reading every single card like I normally do because of time constraints, but I wanted to do these videos anyways. And the main energies are pretty much all the same, so if you're viewing some of my other videos... Whoa! All these cards just jumped out here. And I'm actually going to use these cards. Whoa! I feel like I'm air blown. I'm just going to use all the cards that fell out. What was I saying? I was saying something. I was saying something. My videos, scheduling, booking. I don't remember. Anyways, let's just go on with your reading. Oh, I was talking about how I'm not reading every single card for time constraints. So, and this is also for the last 2 weeks in March. So I'm going to be posting these probably around the 16th, 17th of March. So starting around that time, you'll see. This is where I'm kind of picking up from. Now, because all these cards flew out, I feel like the universe is like really wanting me to talk about these. There were some reverses that came out of this, so I'm going to talk about those as well. You do have the Eight of Pentacles crowning you. Now, you may be in a relationship to a Taurus, and again, this reading is for everyone with their Ascendant, Sun, or Moon in Gemini, okay? Or you may have some Taurus in your chart. You do have the Spider card, which is the job card, okay? So this is focused on looking for a job. This can also be working too much or working too little in some cases, you know, working multiple jobs. The Spider, I call it the Spider card because it's also a card, you know, there's a spider in it and there's a web. It can be about communication, communicating via email, doing things on the internet, doing things with social media. If you have your own business, I do recommend doing more with social media. If you're having a difficult time marketing it for some reason, there may be, you know, something about you needing to get more on social media, okay? Some of you are like web designers or do things on the computer or like tech people. That's what you do for a living, and that's showing up here too. I also feel that some of you are working too much. You know, you're working like a bazillion hours a week and you're not taking very much rest. And some of you feel like either stuck in what you're doing or like somebody at work is very draining. You may have like a draining profession. Like you may work in the health industry. I want to say healthcare. You may do something like nurse, doctor, or like you're just doing something that's very draining. It could be also school too, because this is a school card. In some cases, for those of you who are not working, this could be studying for long hours or just studying about something. It's just meant putting in many, many hours into something. So I think of school, I think of studying, I think of, you know, anything in the medical industry or the medical field, nurses, doctors, medical professionals, people that are like, you know, spending a lot of time on what they do, either in preparation for what they do or doing a lot of things that have to do with medicine for some reason. I'm getting medicine for this. Like a nurse would work for many, many hours. You know, they have long shifts. So you may do something that has a very long shift too, because this is the work card. So that's what you're focused on mid-March, okay? 17th, 18th, around that time. Could be before, could be after, could be something that's been going on for a long time as well, just so you know. Or will continue to go on for some time as well too. You have the Five of Pentacles in reverse, which is heartbreak, okay? This is not just like feeling sad and lonely, which would be the upright position. You see it's a girl and she's crying, you know, in bed. And then in the reverse, we have this, you know, the glass of this is like a stained glass window. All of that has fallen out and it's shattered. And she is just like crying uncontrollably. And all her tears are just like washing down this wall and creating all this stain. And like all her makeup is smudged. And it's like, it's not really pretty, you know. It's like that Sia song, you know. Big Girls Cry. I think that's what it's called. Big Girls Cry. So, for some reason, there's, you know, you may have broken up with someone or you've been rejected by someone or there's some element of not being happy in relationships. So you're working a lot, but you're not happy in relationships, okay? You do have this Two of Swords, which is like, you know, a pause or a break or like not talking to someone. This to me is full out rejection in some cases where you've asked somebody to tell you, okay, like why, you know, do you not like me or why something, something, and something, and they're like, well, I don't see this relationship go anywhere. That's what they tell you. I don't know why the light in here is very funny all of a sudden. Let's stop this for a second. So I was talking about the Two of Swords in reverse, which is, you being afraid of getting hurt, pushing somebody away because you don't want to get hurt, you don't want to get into a relationship. This is somebody breaking up with you because they don't see a relationship going forward and it's really, really affecting you. So some of you are not over a breakup. Literally, you are not over it. You do have the Sun card, which is, wanting to ride off into the sunset. And it is also a very positive card as far as like positive energy, feeling really good. But this is also a card about ruffled feathers. I do see it sometimes as a ruffled feathers card. So I feel like your feathers have been ruffled in some way, Gemini, about something. You may be very upset, or you may have broken up with someone, especially if you're a Gemini guy. You may have been broken up with someone and they're not over it yet. Also, Gemini females, you may be wanting something from this specific person that you're not, I want to say, ever going to get. And I'm saying that's very strong. And I know that sounds very, very harsh, but it's not going to go forward. And that's something that you need to accept. Okay. Saying it how it is, just that's how it is. This can also be a major argument that you will not ever agree on. Or it's a major argument where you're never going to see eye to eye, which is the same thing. Or it's a major argument which causes you to have a silent treatment for a very long period of time. If you are living with someone, this is where you're not communicating with them at all, like nothing. And you may also be stuck on somebody where there hasn't been any communication for a long period of time as well, too. This Sun person is usually a person who has a lot of fire element, too. It can be also a Cancer. You may be in a relationship to a Cancer. I can't say this Cancer, Leo, Sagittarius, Aries guy. It's usually a Cancer or Leo guy, okay? Usually Cancer or Leo. So you may have some of that stuff in your chart, or you may be in a relationship to them. It doesn't have to be a guy. It can be a girl. This can also be a guy-guy relationship, too, where there's like, you're like the sun and he's like the moon. You're very different in this regard. There's a lot of yin-yang elements here, too. Sun and moon kind of elements, male, female. But it can be also guy, girl type thing, too. I see it as being more girl-guy oriented than anything. Where it's just like I want to say you're in love with someone, or you were in love with someone where they didn't love you back and you're really, really upset about it. You're really just like, I can't believe this person, and you're hurt by them. You're really, really hurt. You have another card here what's matching up with that, and that's the Ten of Swords. So that to me is like also heartbreak. It's also fear of failure too. It's also the fear, like you're terrified of failure. So maybe, your partner or you was, and I feel like the Ten of Swords shows up pretty much like every time for Gemini, okay? Almost like every reading. And I always say that Geminis don't take care of their physical health enough. I feel like this is like a repetitive thing where Geminis just don't eat enough, they don't sleep enough, they just are kind of like overly focused on things, or getting caught up in that mental spiral, that crazy mental downward spiral of worst case scenarios, of paranoia, of fear, of being terrified of something, of what other people are saying. This is also jealousy from the outside, okay? So you have, to me, the Ten of Swords to me is heartbreak, because it's like there's a hole in your heart. I mean, this is a lot of red here, so I think heart, to me, it's a heart thing. You could also have a heart problem for some of you who are older. This could be, or even some of you who are younger, which is unfortunate, but it could be something related to a heart condition. You could be a Cancer watching this for like a Gemini ascendant or something, or Gemini moon, and you could have like a heart issue. Definitely a heart issue, whether it's heartbreak or actually heart problems. It's going to be different for everyone. The Ten of Swords in this position, though, going back to the jealousy factor, is also negativity coming in from other people. People being jealous of you, people taking your energy, people vamping you, people wanting more from you than you have to give. That is something that is quite common with Gemini, actually. And so to me, this is spreading yourself too thin. And I say that because there's this part of her, like, you can see it there. There's this part of her dress, you know, or whatever she's falling, you know, she's falling out of bed in her sleep. And she's, you know, falling through the sky. It's like, in a way, it's like she was sleepwalking and she fell out of her window and she's still got this sheet kind of wrapped around her, and the sheet's getting torn in the wind because she's falling so far. It's like living, you know, in a tower. You know, in a magical world, Gemini lives in a tower in the sky. Okay, so does Aquarius and Libra. We all live in this glass tower in the sky. Okay, and so this is you, Gemini, falling out of that tower in the middle of the night. You know, dreaming and somehow the wind ripping up all of that sheet that's wrapped around you. So I want to say that you're spreading yourself too thin, and so that there's several tears in your aura, which means that people can easily take your energy, and that also means that you're not being very, I want to say, cautious and careful about your energy. And there may be someone, to me this is also someone that's actively taking your energy, in the sense that there's a cord of attachment problem. You know, you maybe slept with someone who wasn't good for you, and then therefore they're still stealing your energy. And okay, so let's just say you slept with a Cancer, okay? Cancers have the claw, okay? So you slept with a Cancer, but then you broke up with them. They're still taking your energy and they're draining your blood, okay? So they are taking everything that you have as far as energy, and there's a hole in your aura. And this is going to depend on each situation, but I would definitely recommend doing a healing session. This would be the tarot cord cutting combo with me, because this is where, if you have a hole in your aura because of this person, you might not even be together. Like, people think, well, it's taking you time to get over someone, but people can still take your energy when they're dead. Okay, so it is one of those things where even if you're over it, you're still getting your energy stolen from them. Okay, for some of you, not for all of you, but I feel like it's definitely still happening for some of you. For some of you, it's just two things going on. It's this heartbreak of a relationship, or not really getting over a relationship, and it's also this paranoia and fear of failure, you know, or somebody is afraid for you, okay? But I feel like it's also paranoia and fear that's causing you to kind of either lose sleep, because I feel like sleep is a factor here too, lose sleep, or stress out, one or the other, or both, okay? The outcome is loss of sleep, which is the Four of Swords, or being very pissed off, like being very, very pissed off and angry and upset. Usually it's because someone is overtired, okay? So in the upright position, it's someone who needs to take a rest, someone who needs to get more sleep, someone that needs to, like, take some R&R time and go to Hawaii and, like, play with the flowers and, like, get one of those lay things, you know? So it's one of those things that needs to happen, but it's not happening. At the end of March, what's happening is you're still not resting. You're still not sleeping. And you're so overtired that your temper can just flare up very easily. And so you need to take that rest. You're actually blocked because of this Ten of Swords energy. So this to me is exhaustion. This to me is being exceptionally drained, and it just sort of continues on this way to a point where you get sick, or you're sick, like maybe you were sick before and then you get sick again. It's like a recurring thing where it's like you can't get better because you're so tired, you're so drained, you are not, I want to say you're just not taking care of yourself, and you're not paying attention to the signs. You're not eating right, you're not sleeping right, you're just not doing what's necessary for you to feel good and to get better and to heal, okay? So the interesting thing is that you have this really great card in between all of this stuff here, which is about completing karma. And this is in the position of your attitude, which is probably the best attitude to have. But it's also a card of completing things. You looking for perfection and harmony and completion and people that love you. And this is divine wisdom also. You know, some of you are older souls. This is like getting to a point where you're becoming an ascended master. You're completing a lot of karma. Okay, so there's a lot of spiritual awareness stuff here too. I feel like it's spiritual awareness. Well, anything that's really that you've struggled with, anybody that's really struggled, I feel like you're going to, it's all for this reason. It's all teaching you something for this reason so that you could complete this karma. I feel like you have this great spiritual awareness, but at the same time, physical awareness needs to improve. You're maybe an ascended master who's like never taking care of your body. You need to take care of your body, your physical health. And it's interesting because Aquarius got this, I feel like, for the March reading, the main general reading. So you may have some Aquarius also in your chart, or that could be an Aquarius. Okay, so this might not even be you. This could be somebody else, because this is what's coming in from the outside. So you could be in a relationship to an Aquarius. Gemini Aquarius is usually best friends or friends with benefits. Or in some cases, husband and wife, boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever, you know. So, I mean, that could be them. And, like, you're kind of in the middle of it, and you're kind of just, like, trying to help them. And it's a very, you know, you're completing karma by helping them. This could be also, if you are, say, looking after an older person, you know, taking care of someone who's older. I feel like this may be also a death in the family, because for you to have the Ten of Swords plus, followed by the Eight of Cups, to me that's ascension. That's completing karma in the final peace out kind of way, you know. So, you know, this may be tiring you. You know, you could be living with somebody who's older and who's struggling and who's not well. And you may, this is also karma for you as well. Learning how to take care of an older person, or you being an older soul, or them being an older soul. But I feel like there's an old thing here. So I feel like for some of you, it's taking care of an elderly relative. It could be also for some of you taking care of like a parent. They could be the Gemini and you're watching it for them. And you could be someone, like, say, who has some Pisces in your chart, or who has some Cancer in your chart, or some, you know, Scorpio in your chart. There's a strong water element here that I don't necessarily believe is you. It could be you if you're watching this. Again, if you were like Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio, watching this for someone who's a Gemini. Gemini, though, I do feel like it is your completion of karma to go through the situation and learn from them. And I do feel like towards the end of March, they will pass away. And I feel like you already kind of know. You already kind of know that this is going to happen. And I do feel like this is you are gonna make your peace with it. For some of you, you need to make your peace with it. Some of you haven't made your peace with it yet. You may have someone in your life who's older. You may be like very unhappy taking care of an elderly relative. Or you may be unhappy, like say you're in your 40s or 50s and you're taking care of someone who's like a parent who's older, and you feel like it's a tremendous burden and it's a tremendous responsibility, and you're tired and you're drained, and you know you feel like maybe you're alone in it, and you need to make your peace with them before they pass away, because I feel like you may not make your peace with it until after they pass away, and that's okay too, but at the same time it will upset you greatly. And I'm getting really emotional here. I feel like some of you are going to watch this and you're going to understand what I'm saying. There's something that you need to make peace with. Whether it's a person in your life who's older or not, it's somebody who you need to make peace with. It's someone who you're not connecting with, and you don't. in a way you've stopped loving, because the opposite of love is the Ten of Swords. It's someone who's taking your energy, not giving it back. This is heartbreak, okay? So to me, it's like the opposite of the Lover's card. So you do need to love them, because I don't necessarily feel like you love them. I feel like you are worried and fearful for them, but you haven't made your peace. You're angry still. There's a lot of anger there. And it's not going to serve you any good to continue being that angry. So I guess this is a hard message. And I know I do, for those of you who are new to my channel, I do cry often in my videos, but I try not to. I really do try, but I feel like it's gonna affect you. It's gonna affect you if they pass away and you haven't made your peace with them, and you were angry with them right up into the very end, and you were bitter towards them. I don't feel bitter. I feel anger. I want to say it's anger. You are angry at them for whatever it is that who they are, or the situation. I mean, to me, it could be a lot of different types of situations, but to me, this is something to do with someone who's older, and they're not going to be around forever, and this is where you need to make your peace with it. You really do. So whether this is a parent, or whether this is a grandparent, or whether this is a great-grandparent, or whether this is like a child, a son or daughter, this could be someone who's younger too, because this is the Four of Swords. You may actually have lost somebody who, I want to say somebody may have committed suicide. You may have lost somebody who was younger to suicide, and you're still grieving, and you're still going through that. You're going through that process. You may have just lost someone. It could be just someone you lost. And it's interesting because, again, it's after the eclipse. There's the sun-moon thing going on, the eclipse thing going on, and it's after the eclipse. And so it's something you've lost, and you're going to be dealing with that later in March. So it's just sort of you dealing with someone who's younger. Now, if it's somebody someone you lost, again, it could be a child, losing a child. Some of you, it's losing a child, or having a very difficult pregnancy. Some of you having a very difficult pregnancy. I see that too. And you need like bed rest. Some of you are on like bed rest. Some of you are just like a loss of blood in some cases. So like there maybe have like been like a life-threatening thing, where you either went into surgery, or there's some kind of surgical thing. There's a lot of medical stuff here for you. So you need to take care of your health. And make sure you are taking care of your health, and make sure that you are, loving yourself and loving others, and obviously just trying to keep your head above the water of emotion. I feel like when these two cards come together, this is someone who's suffered greatly, someone who's suffering greatly. So you may be in a place where you've just been suffering very much, with a lot of different health concerns, one thing after another, progressively things, and some of you are some of you want to be released from all of that. Part of this Eight of Cups is almost wanting to die. So you need to be careful that you're not manifesting it, okay? So you need to kind of get back into your mojo, get your mojo back, get back into life, get back into loving your life. The sun is crossing you, so get in touch with this energy. Go outside. Don't stay inside. Don't like overdo the computer. If you're like one of those gamers too, you could be like a gamer, or you could like be inside all day, like every day, like on the computer. You need to step away from it. You need to take a break, like take like an hour and a half of lunch or something. Or even like after work, go outside for a run, or go outside and just get more sun. You need more vitamin D. I think a lot of you do, and just sun. Excuse me. I have the hiccups. So, you need to be more social. You need to have fun. You kind of just need to re-engage with life again, and have fun and do fun things. I feel like there's a lot of obligations that you're trying to meet, and there's just too much. So you need to kind of clear your schedule for a little bit of alone time. Clear your schedule for a nap every day. Take a nap. You need to take a nap. You need to rest. Put your feet up. As much as you need to get outside. So you got the duality thing with the Gemini. going outside, getting the fresh air, but also resting when you need to rest. And I'll leave off there. Thank you guys so much for liking, subscribing, Google Plusing all my videos. I appreciate it so much. I send you big hugs, big kisses, and I will talk to you guys again soon. All right, take care. All the best. Bye.